Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast. We are doing one here just the day before 4th of July. It is the 3rd of July where we have fireworks, but a lot of you guys might not have 4th of July where you live. Well, you'll have the date, but you won't have the fireworks. Anyways, Jav and I are here catching up over what happened this weekend with the ESPN fight card. Well, how would you give that card a rating on a 1 to 10 overall? What would you think about that card?
7
7?
compared to the last week, which was a 9.
Yeah.
Last week was about a 9. Yeah, this one has some good fights. Some upset kind of fights where people didn't materialize, I guess.
Yeah. I think it was we'll become the Siskel and Ebert of the UFC. We'll keep this up. That's our plan here. So the first fight I wanted to talk with you about was the Brenner fight. And we were just talking about this a minute ago. And he really came back against some really significant odds. Elves Brenner versus Guram Kutaladze. And, Kutaladze was handing it out, but Brenner came back to win that one. And he was told basically by the odds, you're not going to win this at all. It's always crazy when that works out, but you can never 100% predict a fight. I mean, do you think that's when the odds are the odds, more times they go to the odds, or how often do you think there's an upset?
I think in cases like this, usually the odds end up winning. It's in a rare case, not rare, but occasionally, an underdog minus 600 can win, and in this case, this is what happened. One fighter was dominating, the other fighter fought like a warrior, came back and caught it, was bleeding on his hair went from blonde to red.
Some guys dye their hair in that color early when they go in the cage, but he get a dye job.
He did a dye job on his blonde hair with red dye.
What'd you think about those elbows?
Cut everywhere. They were devastating. Cut them pretty good.
Call them butcher elbows. They were just like knives, just coming over from the top. Like he had some different technique about, was it a Muay Thai technique or just something? You think a lot of these people come up with their own stuff?
Well, they get their coaches have their own style, but it was it was a great comeback. It was a crazy comeback, and that happens. It's not the first or the last time we'll see it, but you can never count a fighter out. In this case, could never count Brenner out. No one could tell him he's going to lose, because he didn't.
He's like, those are the odds? Okay, well, that's nice. Thanks for nothing. Yeah, that was a great fight. Let's see. And then another fight of note here, because that was earlier off, but that was just such a banger. Had to bring that one up lower on the card. But, and I have trouble saying his name, but Renat Fakhretdinov? Yeah, let's see. If I said it right, say give me a thumbs up and like this video.
I'm not going there. It just, it just.
I don't want to insult anybody.
Kevin Lee Renat spoils Kevin Lee's comeback. He spoiled it good. He hit him with a beautiful right hand. Was straight right. Was it left or right? I don't remember if it was straight, but it was a straight punch. Dropped him. Jumped on the guillotine, and that was all she wrote. Kevin looked like he was trying for a takedown, but I don't know if it was instinctive or not. But Renat just latched on the guillotine, bro, and that was all she wrote. He was out. And it just for me, it's like some of the warning signs for me when Kevin was talking about, hey, I'm not, I'm beyond these little. Shows at the Apex, he kind of his attitude was like, I'm past this. And to me, it's like your focus should have been on winning and your opponent. And other comments were like on Khabib, I saw holes in his game. And
I saw that too. I was going to bring that up.
And I'm just like, dude, you should be focused more on your fight and forget anybody else, forget anybody in particular. Just focus on yours because everybody was dying to see what you're going to do, especially at welterweight. He went up to welterweight, a more natural weight, and he looked very strong as a welterweight. And I just think that, in my opinion, he got caught. Was it because he wasn't focused enough on his opponent or he overlooked his opponent? I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that what he was doing, he shouldn't have been doing. He should not have been complaining about not complaining, but it shouldn't even have came up. It should never came up about not fighting at the Apex. He should have never came up, and also against anybody else should have never came up. He should have been solely focused on his job at hand and to beat a really really tough opponent. Which because he got caught. Number one, number two, maybe he wasn't focused enough that he got caught. I don't know. That I don't know. I'm speculating. So I'm not saying
Didn't
he
he
got caught
fight on
because of that.
Eagles? Didn't he fight on Habib's card
Yeah,
one time?
he fought Diego Sanchez. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly, he got paid really good money to fight, and he beat Diego pretty good, if I remember correctly.
but then he's coming back with, well, I saw Habib's holes in his game. I'm like, dude, that's so irrelevant. You know what I mean? That's kind of like me talking about you fighting 20 years ago.
Like I
forget the
said, it should not be something that a fighter should enter. Not particular blaming him. I'm just saying a lot of fighters need to focus on the person that they're fighting, and especially when you got a really tough opponent. And he had a really, really, really tough opponent, and I think his mind should have been focused on him and nobody else. And I think it should have been the same kind of comments that people make in regards to, I don't know, I got to get by this guy. Then we can talk about the other guy. That's what I think personally. It's like, who cares where you're fighting? I mean, you're getting paid to fight, and you should be focused more on winning, because if you don't win, nothing else means anything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's just like ironic to be bringing up Habib, who's retired, who was the champ at the time. If you were the champ at the time, then you were the champ at the time, but you weren't. So here we are, right? That's how it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin Lee, but yeah, that looks like that's a tough mark on your record there.
Tough mark, but he's still young. He's only 30 years old. He's still young. He can still make a comeback. He's still young. He's healthy. He can
disagreement.
He can still become a threat in that division, 100%. He just needs to stay more focused on what needs to do. The now and the present, not the I don't want to fight
2 years ago.
kind of thing,
Yeah. 2 years ago, it's like the guy talking when he played football. Man, I would have made it if it wasn't for my knee. Yeah.
Well, he's definitely a celebrity type individual. He's definitely a known guy, but you're not going to get over that hump if you don't focus on just your opponents that you're going to fight and how to dismantle them. Because he has all the ability to beat just about anybody. It's just a matter of getting focused, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about. But the people that understand the mental side, the mindset, people that understand that, they understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you have limits in your brain, obstacles that stop you. It's like a governor. Your car says it can do 120. You step on the gas as fast as it can go. It only goes to 35 because there's a governor on it, because that's what you believe. That's what happens to people. Let's see. Bruno Ferreira versus Nursultan Ruzibiov. Did you see that fight?
Yeah, that's the one where Bruno
Quickie.
got starched by the Uzbekistan fighter who's 6'5". He had he had 30-something fights. Yeah, going into the UFC with their 30-something and 8 record or something like that. He had a pretty extensive record against a 10-0 guy, and he used his reach beautifully. Bruno kicked him, a leg kick. He grabbed the low kick, hit him with the straight right, dropped him, and then smashed him with a good hammer fist. A very good performance. And Uzbekistan, when they have a fighter that does well in the UFC, the country gets behind them. And I'm sure that he's made a name for himself in Uzbekistan. So a lot of people know who he is now.
Then you had Ismail Bonfim versus Benoit St. Denis. Benoit. Yeah. But his name better. What did you think?
Yeah, Benoit really impressed me, man. I mean, he was sticking to the kick, and he didn't lay off. His opponent was like, "Come on, kick me again," and Benoit said, "Okay, you want? Yeah, I will give it to you." He didn't shy away from it. He went right for it. And they went back and forth, but it was Benoit that was controlling him, controlled the ground, controlled everything. And at the end of the day, he got the W, and Benoit was very impressive, and submission, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was a submission that he got him with.
Yeah.
What was that? Rear
face
naked?
crank. Face crank.
Face crank. That's right. Yeah.
Round one, 448. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what happened. The
Benoit was
next
very
one,
impressive.
the next one was Melissa Gatto and Ariane Lipsky, and that was a split decision. So
To be honest, I don't know why I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that fight. I
okay,
think, I did watch it. I did watch it. I just, one was 6-0, right? Lipsky was 6-0.
I think so. Let me see.
The Brazilian one. Yeah. I kind of tuned off a little bit, but yeah, that went, the split this, no, decision, right?
Lipsky's not 6-0. Actually, Lipsky's just won her last two. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the one that was 6-0 was the European girl, and the one that
Okay.
won was the Brazilian girl. The Brazilian girl won. She won. So the Brazilian girl won. I'm not mistaken.
Let me give you the bottom line on that one. That one was Lipsky beat Melissa Gatto, actually. Yeah, split decision. That's what that was.
Okay, then the Lipsky was not the Brazilian.
Yeah,
Lipsky. Who was that? Skip it. I don't remember very much. I
that's
watched the whole
okay.
show, and I can't understand why I don't
Anybody
remember.
that does this podcast has to realize we go free form and memorize every detail of 2.5 hours does take quite a bit of work, but that's okay. We're doing our best. Max Griffin, Michael Morales.
Max Griffin, Michael Morales was one of those fights where Max tried. He tried everything he could, but Morales is just too talented, too strong, too tough, And overall, at the end of the day, Max tried, but just not good enough against the young, up and coming, surging, hot commodity in Michael Morales. Michael Morales is a project that not project, prospect that you need to keep your eyes out on. He's the real deal, and just a matter of time before he gets more recognition. He's 15-0 now, I believe. He was 14-0, now he's 15-0, I believe,
Yeah.
or 12-0, now he's 13. One of those. Very impressive. Seems to have it all. Seems to have conditioning, mental. Physically looks good. And very strong. Very strong. Good prospect.
Then we go into Grant Dawson versus Damir Ismagulov. And
Yeah, man.
that was the
Grant
one.
Dawson.
That was the one.
Yeah, he is. He is the real deal. Fights really smart. He had a full training camp. He said he had like a full 8 weeks this time to train. And man, he stuck to his plan. He stuck to the game of taking the individual down. And just, he was like always 1, 2 steps ahead of his opponent on the ground. And he kept taking it to the ground. I was very, very impressed with Grant Dawson. Expect big things from him. Expect him to keep rising, to the top. I mean, the
He's
kid's
20 and
got what,
1. 20 and
20 and
1
one.
from
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he's good, man. He's real good. He's real good. He's gonna be top five guy real soon. He's gonna be top guy real soon. He's really, really good. Up and coming, surging lightweight for darn sure. He's on the rise. He's on the rise. Very good prospect.
there's and then of course the headline: Sean Strickland beat Magomedov.
Bus.
So Abusupian.
Yeah, a bus.
Yeah, bus.
It was one of those things where Strickland's just a gritty veteran, that showed that you better have a lot more than what a bus have. A bus came out there and he's out striking Strickland at the beginning, but Strickland kept putting the pressure on him and just wore him down with his onslaught of punching, kicking, not pink, mostly punching. Strickland was mostly punching. He got taken down in the first round fairly easy, got up real quick, but stayed on the game plan and just kept tagging his opponent over and over again. His opponent was one fight into the UFC. Everybody's thinking big on him. He's doing great. He was a king of the fish in another big pond, but
KSW.
not big. Yeah, not big enough of a pond. And he comes in and basically he looked great the first round, but then he started
Yeah.
getting tired, and a lot has to do with Strickland putting a lot of pressure on him and putting hands on him, and on that department. It's going to be tough to beat Strickland, on the stand up. Very few people can deal with his stand up properly. Like Adesanya is a higher level striker, but those are the kind of people that Strickland is going to have problems with, and people like Kevin Holland, those are the kind of people that Strickland will have a war with, but then you got the higher level which is Adesanya guys. Those are the guys that are just going to be a little bit more in the arsenal department when it comes to striking, because Strickland is a great striker, but dimensional in a way where he's not fully rounded, well-rounded, like knees, elbows. He's got a dimension of boxing that he's really, really good at. But
Yeah.
Adesanya and the rest of the group, they got a full arsenal at their disposal, whereas Strickland does not have a full kicking arsenal. He's more of a boxing arsenal, which is really, really good. He's got great defense. He's got great connection rate. Strickland is the real deal, and by all rights, I think he should get the next title shot. If they don't give it to Robert Whittaker, if Whittaker wins his next fight, or if Duplessis wins his next fight, right? They're going to give it to one of those.
We're gonna get into that one next. That card that's coming up.
I would think the winner of that's probably going to get Adesanya, but I think that throw in Sean Strickland's hat in the title contention. I think he's earned, by that victory and how he did it, he's earned the right to be considered for a title shot. That's what I feel.
I think it's interesting. I think Dana makes it like, we're going to see how the fight's going to look. So he really depends highly on trending analytics, like which gets more of a pop. You're going to look at how many more Twitter views.
They're looking for the money. They're looking for the money.
Right.
Give me the money. Show me the money. They run the business like, show me the money. So, who you and I may think so-and-so deserves a shot, but analytics may say otherwise, and
well, there may
that's
be
who's going to get the fight.
300,000 more people that like this other matchup than we do, and that's how it works out. Or you do. Anybody watching the show, that's kind of how it is. It's all based on analytics, pretty much. I mean, if Robert Whittaker and Dricus Duplessis, they just make a banger super show that surpasses what that looks like that we just saw, just a minute ago, just this weekend, with Strickland. Yeah, they're going to go with that. Whatever pops bigger on social media. You've noticed that. Have you ever got any of that information or ever heard how that's done?
No, I it's all hearsay, what we're saying, but it just appears like our hearsay appears to be correct, even though no one's telling us. We just, from what we see, right? From what we see.
Dana's always going, it's trending. So he knows this is going to be a killer. He knows because he's looking at Google, Google Trends, and it's.
Let's put it this way: they haven't announced Islam Makhachev's opponent yet, and I wonder why. Are they waiting for Justin Gaethje, and the Dustin fight, or are they waiting for Alex and Yair fight? What are they waiting for? Obviously, we'll find out, right? Because if they do it after the Yair fight, if they announce who Islam's next opponent is, then we know. If they're going to wait after Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier fight, then we know that they're waiting to see what the what the rates are, the rhythm shows, algorithm. Sorry, they're going to see. Okay, this fight's trending this high. This one's this high. So they're going to go by which one's trending the highest. I believe. There's a
I agree
thing into what they're doing. I mean, think about it this way, right? The UFC is a money machine. They're a money machine. Look at the CEOs, what they paid themselves. You look at the track record and the amount of money that Ari Emanuel and the other individual below him got paid. It's like astronomical amount of money compared to what any CEO of a company would make. They killed it.
You could feed a whole country on that money.
Well, they killed it. They killed it in the amount of money they made. And why? I mean, the most CEOs of companies make 20, 30 million. These guys made, I want to say it was 300 something for Ari and 100 something for the other guy, million, for 1 year. That's incredible. I could be wrong on that. But I think I remember seeing that. But regardless of whether it's the amount I said, the fact of the matter is they got paid way, way over what a normal CEO of companies would make, way over. That just means the UFC is making money hands over fists. That's what that means.
You just made me remember an interesting side note. So, it's helping my other buddy, get his podcast started. He does 49ers and all that, right? Well, recently, very famous, just the other day, ESPN laid off Steve Young, who was one of the top quarterbacks ever of the 49ers, and they had him there for commentary and so forth, and also 3 or 4 other people. basically what the rumors on the line is that ESPN's crashing in because the amount of money that it takes to run a sports network like that, huge salaries, 8 million for you, 12 million for you. Imagine a podcast you prepay somebody. Now the podcast has to go make that money. It doesn't work like that. And so now television is becoming more like the podcast, and the podcasts are actually dominating TV and radio now. And we're seeing the fallout of this happen all the way across. So basically all these TV stations forever, and I'm wondering how sports are going to be done in the future. TV is basically licensed, like, oh, you want to be on this channel, CBS is going to pay for all the 49ers, or ABC is going to pay for all the UFC, whatever, or all the world soccer, you know what I mean? So it's changing. The amount of money it takes to run these businesses is not seeing the ROI like it used to, because we're in the internet sphere. So this is going to become more relevant, what we do, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy. But
no, it
is.
That. It is. When you try to get me involved in this podcasting, I didn't care. I wasn't interested. I was just doing it. But now I'm kind of getting a little used to it. And as we grow, we'll continue to grow our numbers and our subscription. And, there'll be a point where we'll be a mainstay in the podcast MMA industry, or maybe as we grow, maybe we get involved in other realms of podcasting. I don't know, but right now we're involved in this sphere, and let's see how far it goes. Let's see where it takes us. But so far, I don't mind. I did mind at the beginning. Now I don't mind so much at all. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that's telling you, hey, Len, when are we doing the podcast? Normally it was the other way around. So
you can speak your mind. You can speak your mind unfiltered, undirected, unedited, and be you. You're in charge. You have your final cut of what you say here. That's the beautiful thing I think about it. And then a lot of people, they take stuff from here. We did a podcast about a fight last week, but ironically, they take the cut about, what Javier said about Mr. Beast? I'm like, hey, apparently your Mr. Beast opinion matters, Javier. That's all I know.
Well, I mean, what it is, what it is. I mean, we give our opinions on things, and people, they take credible individuals, or sometimes non-credible individuals, and they just get something that individual says that sounds good, and it's plastered out there. That's why everything we say, can be used against us, and something positive becomes negative because how they switch it. They don't put the whole story. They put the story that sounds negative, but they don't put the whole thing. If they put the whole thing, then you go, wait a minute, that this leads up to this negativity. There really was a positive thing, but no, they leave it on the negative and they stay on that. And they got the old mentality about, a fire what creates the interest for people to read. If there's a fire, right? So they create a fire, but there's really no fire, but everybody's reading because they're expecting a fire, but there's no fire. And that's what they do, clickbait. And I don't like that, but it is what it is. It's
never been our thing. We never get all like, hey, it's Javier and Len. We never get all animated with our show. We just say it how it is, like two regular guys. Some people like it. Some people want the showmanship and the inverted, spectacular, baiting you to the last thing we're going to say, and then aha. And it's like, why didn't you just say that in the first place? You made me hold on for 5 minutes. Why didn't you just tell me that? Well, let's talk about a thing that you were quoted on last week. And I'm like, after we get off the podcast, I go, damn it, we got to talk about this. What about the Elon Musk fight, the Elon potential with the Mark Zuckerberg fight? Of course, there are different weight classes, and the billionaire baddies, battle or whatever that Dana's trying to promote. I see two tech guys. I saw that, one guy's get some jujitsu. He's learned some jujitsu, and but these are two civilians, man. They haven't dedicated their life to it, nor do they probably have the time to go full blast for this. What do you think about that fight?
Well, like I did that one interview, I think it could be the biggest, pay-per-view event of all time, because we've never had two billionaires that of this magnitude actually really, really consider getting into the cage. Now, we're not going to look at them for the great technique of what they have. We're just looking for the spectacle that it is. You got two guys that don't ever need to do anything for a living because they're beyond rich, and it's kind of cool to get involved and watch these guys and think about the social media pool that they have, how many Instagrammers out there in the world, how many Facebook, how many Twitter. So the social media advertisement these guys can do is off this chart. It's off the chart. There's no way you cannot tell me this cannot do bigger pay-per-view numbers than anything ever out there, and it definitely 100% can, because you have a whole bunch of people that don't give a shit about MMA that will watch this just for just for the fun of it. They will watch. They don't care. They're not expecting great technique. They're just who's going to win. You got one individual that's younger, 39 years old, Zuckerberg. Who's been training and jiu-jitsu, and he's been doing some kickboxing too. I've seen the videos of him doing kickboxing. And you got another one, 49 years old, a little taller, a little bigger in weight, and we don't know anything about Musk. But if they're serious, then this is a big deal. And it'll be the biggest blockbuster pay-per-view of all time. I don't even know if anything can ever break that, because you'd have to have someone of that magnitude that has that kind of social media pool. And these guys got social media pool like nobody's business. The only other one that could trump that is if you put the winner of this fights the Amazon guy.
Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is lining up. He's getting in shape. He's been in shape for a while. Yeah. He knew this might come around.
So that could potentially trump that, because now you got the three guys that they're trying to go at it. But other than that, I think it's they asked me if I would train them, and I said no. I don't want to train them. That's not what I do. I'm not. I know it's a huge, like, if it was real and they called me, I wouldn't train them. I would not train them. And I'm not saying they're going to, or they thought about it, but I'm just saying if they did, I would turn it down. But at the same time too, I would definitely watch. I definitely would watch.
So you're telling me if Elon called you up and say a couple mil, a new Tesla for all your family, come on, Hav.
I mean, if you're talking about that kind of money, I'd be stupid too. But we're not talking about these.
Is there a price? Is there a price? Let me ask you a better question.
Okay. In all fairness, there is a price. There is a price, but the price they would be willing to pay, I'm not willing to bend. And they don't need the guy like me. They don't need the guy like me. They can pay like 100,000 million less, to get what they need. They don't need guys like me. That's why I'm saying I'm not interested. But obviously, I'm not stupid. Someone says, "Hey, we're going to offer you a couple million." Okay, well, yeah, okay. You can be. Everybody can be bought. So there is a price. So
yeah.
But I that's so unrealistic. So unrealistic that they're going to be honestly speaking, that's stupid to pay you that kind of money. That's it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It really is.
Well, it's good. It's good that everybody has a price. It's just that your price is like, you're not trying to throw it out there. John Jones is trying to, hey, Zuckerberg. No. And then I think, I don't know, somebody said something about GSP training, Elon.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, look, listen, Dana White obviously spoke to both of these guys, and obviously it's the real deal, because if Dana ain't wasting his time with it, it's real. It's got to be real. Dana talked to him. Dana's not going to say I talked to him if he didn't talk to him. He obviously talked to him, so they obviously are considering it. I'm just saying, me myself, I'm not being considered, and I don't want to be considered. But again, like you said, come on, Hobbs, offer you a couple million. Well, of course, I'm not stupid. Who's that stupid? Anybody? I'm not. There is a price, right? There is a price.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think Elon's got at least stuff to tempt you with, like some cool technology. I don't know what Mark could offer you. Hey, man, I'll make your Facebook page bigger. No, thank you. I mean, who cares? Nobody's hardly using Facebook. I think Twitter is going to blow Facebook away, and I think I don't know.
I don't know. I have Facebook, but I don't. I never look at my Facebook.
There's nothing
always
there.
Instagram. I don't even do Twitter. I don't. My Instagram posts go to Twitter, but I don't. Or I don't even know if they are right now. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But I'd never go on Twitter. I always go on Instagram.
Well, Instagram's part of Facebook, so you're kind of on the Zuckerberg camp. But do you have a favorite?
I'm Zuckerberg. Yeah.
That's your favorite of the two.
Well, obviously, I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, so yeah.
I like Elon Musk, man. That's my guy. He opened up the Twitter. He freed the information. He stopped some of the chaos. I like his freedom fighter attitude. We don't have no background on his fighting though, so
no.
might as well be talking about that guy that works at the ice cream shop and that taxi driver over there in a fight. You just have no idea, you know?
Yeah,
Nothing to really
you never know.
speculate. So what about this fight here? Now this may be where like you were talking about earlier, why Islam might end up fighting. They haven't really pushed him or anything lately, but this Alexander versus Yair fight, do you think that would spark interest in that fight again?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. Why else? Why else? Why else they waiting? Why? It's either they're waiting for this fight to see what happens, the outcome, or they're waiting for to see Dustin and Justin fight to see.
Gaethje, yeah.
It makes more sense. It makes more sense that they wait for this one because Alex and Islam delivered.
Yeah.
They delivered all the hype. They delivered all the hype on the first fight, regardless of what people say, who won, who didn't win. It delivered in what they were expecting. It delivered. It was a barn burner, just like they expected, and so that one delivered. And I don't see a reason why, if Alex wins, that Dana wouldn't want to rerun that. And are we, like me myself personally? I haven't spoke to Islam, but I don't think Islam cares. I think Islam, whatever they give me, Charles, whatever they give me, Alex, whatever. I think Islam's going to fight whoever UFC says to fight. If he had a choice, I don't know who he'd pick. I would think that Islam would want somebody brand new that he'd never faced before. But again, I don't know that guy. I haven't spoken to him about it.
I'm sure he doesn't like sitting there in timeout. I'm sure he wants to be active. He lives.
Oh, he's always active. He's always active. It's just a matter of who's his opponent.
That's true. So, I mean, on that card that we get coming up over here, it's UFC 290, Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. Looking at some of the lower fights, we can give her a little outlook on that. There's a few Aussies on here. Jack Della Maddalena versus Josiah Harrell. Are you familiar with Josiah Harrell?
No.
Okay. Well, he's 7-0. And Jack Della Maddalena is pretty. He's a beast himself. So, but he's coming out. He's coming out of the LFA. Maybe that's why you don't know him. He has a great name, Muscle Hamster. I never thought that would be a fighting name. That's his fighting name. And Jack Della Maddalena is on a friggin' win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like a 14 fight win streak.
Nice.
Yeah, that's intense, man.
It's impressive. Very impressive.
Right. So that should be a good fight. We don't know about the Muscle Hamster, but we do know about Jack Della Maddalena. Robbie Lawler's coming in there again, trying to fight out his contract or get back. I don't know. I mean, Robbie's been in some wars. He's fighting Nico Price. Any calls on how that might go?
I'm sure it's favoring Nico Price, but I'd like to see Robbie pull it off.
Yeah. The Robbie Lawler's, he's just part of the whole thing. And then we get another great one coming up. Bo Nickel is making his octagon entry again against Tresian Gore. And I was like, okay, Tresian Gore, he's 4-2. He won his last fight and he lost his 2 before that. And he's fighting Bo Nickel. I thought they'd be pushing Bo Nickel up against somebody with like a longer win streak, didn't you?
I don't know. I bet Bo Nickel's going to run him over.
We don't even know who he is. We're just going to say Bo Nickel at this point.
Bo Nickel's going to run him over.
He's just got that pedigree, huh? Words out in all the fight gyms.
Yeah, everybody knows Bo Nickel. Knows this guy's a beast. He's becoming so well rounded everywhere, and Just watch him fight. The hype is real.
Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Okay, well, I know which way I want this to go based on commentary of the past and so forth. But I do think Jalen Turner has a very good chance of pulling this off. The tarantula.
Jalen Turner definitely has a chance. It just depends on how well he uses his overall skill set. We'll see. If he looks to take Hooker down, Hooker is not so great on the ground. He's so-so on the ground. Stand-up is his best weapon. Takedown defense isn't so great. It's okay. But I don't know how Jalen is, taking someone down. I don't know how he is stand-up compared to Hooker. So Hooker, I don't know. Who's favored?
You know what? I don't see the odds here, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to look a little further down. I know this much. It's like Hooker won his last fight with a body kick, and Jalen Turner lost his last fight, but he fought a beast to Matthews Gamrot.
Oh
who
yeah, Gamrot is a beast. Yeah,
he's a beast.
grappling beast, grappling beast.
And he fought him to a
Gamrot.
decision, a
That's
three-round
pretty
decision.
impressive. So if it goes
That's
to the
kind of a
ground,
plus. That's a plus.
Jalen, I take Jalen if it goes to the ground much. I'll take him.
Yeah, that's a very interesting fight. We'll see what happens there. And let me give you our next one here. Okay, now we're talking about something that's got some meaning in the league here. Robert Whitaker versus Dricus du Plessis. What do you think? What's your feelings on this one?
Robert Whitaker is going to be tough to beat by anybody other than the champ who would beat him twice. Other than that, Robert Whitaker is going to probably be the winner because he's so well rounded, and this will be his third try at Adesanya. And Robert Whitaker on his last fight got the handle on how to beat Adesanya at the very end of the rounds. So if Robert comes in with the same attitude that he finished on the last round, with an improved ground, takedown, approach. Improved. I say improved because the old doesn't work anymore with these guys. You become like the old guy. You fought him over a year ago, and you think the same principle is going to work. Doesn't necessarily work out so well. So you got to have a new approach. So a new, improved Robert Whitaker on the takedown approach has a better chance than du Plessis. So I would tend to think that Whitaker is probably going to end up fighting Adesanya third time.
Okay.
Deservedly so.
Well, Dricus is on a 7-fight win streak, but he's fighting Robert Whitaker, so that
and he runs out of gas. Dricus runs out of gas too.
Okay.
Steams out. So unless he catches Whitaker and hurts him, I don't see him beating Whitaker. And anything can happen because it's just my opinion, and I'm no expert, per se, really, because I don't know them. I'm only an expert when it comes to my guys. I'm not an expert when it comes to other people. I
don't know how they cook that one. I made my pizza at my house. I get it. Well,
yes.
You get Brandon Moreno now against Alexandre Pantoja. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, and he's lost to Pantoja before, so it's not like he's fighting somebody brand new. He's lost to somebody that beat him. So Pantoja's beat Brandon Moreno. So, it was a while back. Yes, this is a brand new Moreno. Yes, but this is a brand new Pantoja too. Pantoja is a real deal. I expect that to be a barn burner of a fight. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I just know that are they 1-1 against each other, or is it 2-0 against Moreno 0-2? I don't know if they fought 2 times or 1 time. I know the 1 time Pantoja beat him, but I don't know if he fought twice.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I got to look way back to find that. That fight was probably so long ago. Yeah, I don't see it here for some reason.
I think they only fought 1 time, but Pantoja beat him.
Okay. Yeah, loss. He lost to him, and that was a 3-round. It was a unanimous decision. That was in 2018. You're right. You're correct.
Yeah.
And then for the main card, well, what do we got here? We got Yair, one of my favorites, and Alexander Volkanovski, who's a great chef, according to YouTube. He makes some really good food. What do you think happens with this one? Do you see Alexander to continue to keep pressing forward as the dominant champion, or Yair to give him something? Maybe what percentage do you give Yair a chance to hit him with the random abstracts?
Well, basically because I love Yair and he's my friend, I want Yair to win, and I don't even want to put anything on that. I just want Yair to win. So Yair. So that's my take on it. So
okay.
I know you're fighting one of the greatest of all time, but I still think Yair to pull the upset.
What you want. That's what you want. Put it into the universe.
That's what I want. That's what I want because, again, when I know somebody, I never go against them. And Yair, I know. Alex, I don't know him other than we fought him. That's it. But I want Yair to win.
Has Yair come to AKA?
No, but he was Cain Velasquez, champion when Cain coached Ultimate Fighter Latin America. You know, Jair, we were coaches. Jair was one of our guys, and he won the featherweight title, and then Alejandro Perez won the bantamweight title for Cain Velasquez team.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I didn't realize it was Yair. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, Jair. Yeah. He's
So
good, man. He's good.
So what's going on at AK? You got Umar. He's getting ready for his fight in Tennessee. And
I got Umar getting ready, Tennessee. Then and Umar and Tahir getting ready for Tennessee, and then following week Enrique Barzola, Islam Mabadov is getting ready for Bellator, and Kasumov, I think Kasumov or something like that. They're fighting on the 11th of August. And that's it. So
what about so who's coming? Like you said, Usman was coming to help train Umar.
Usman's coming. I hear sometime in July. He's coming to help his brother. Hopefully, he'll corner Umar with me, and we'll see from there. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he corners Umar with me.
Yeah, you miss seeing him around. It's crazy. You get to see your guys a few times out of the year, and then they take off. Everybody else just lives in San Jose, pretty much, right? I mean, these guys,
pretty much. These
they
guys.
go back
I don't get to see them all the time. Yeah, they have to go home. I mean, come on, it's their life. Their families at home.
That's true. They're like, okay, see you, coach. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun coaching. That's awesome, Javier.
Yeah.
That was a great podcast. You have a great 4th of July. Everybody that have a good 4th of July, and we'll see you around next time.